Hello everyone, I'm Pudge007 and welcome to our latest edition of the Resident Evil 8 news update. We just got some more information regarding Resident Evil 8 in the latest Famitsu video game magazine, which is all in Japanese, but Alex Aniel, who also known as @CVXFreak, which is their Twitter handle, was able to translate what was going on from Japanese into English. And definitely has some good, interesting information there that I wanted to go over with you today. In this latest Famitsu magazine, there are 10 pages of Resident Evil Village, Resident Evil 8 news that came in. Obviously, didn't post everything on there because I'm sure that's you have to pay for that magazine. But there was some big highlights that were posted there. So there were some things I'm just scrolling up there and. It will serve, Resident Evil 8, Resident Evil Village will serve as the conclusion to Ethan Winter's story. So it will be the conclusion. You know, we first saw him in Resident Evil 7. Apparently it will conclude Ethan Winter's story. So if you're ready to try to go ahead and get rid of Ethan, this might be the end of what his story will be. And because of that, we also know that it takes place after Resident Evil 7, which we knew that already, but it just kind of confirms that we'll do that. But it will conclude Resident Evil 7's story as well. Also in there, it said that the Umbrella logo seen on the apparatus in the trailer harkens back to the design from Umbrella's past. So from Resident Evil 7, you saw that they had become an anti-bioterror organization, but towards the end of Resident Evil 7, but it goes back to, what Umbrella was way back when, from the earlier games, when they were releasing deadly viruses, that kind of thing. But is that really something of their past, or is it something they've been doing all along? We don't know, but we'll see. So it said something about that. Why does the OG original Umbrella have a presence in the village? And of course, we'll find out in the game. Another thing is that in that article, the article refers to Chris Redfield as that man. And from what Alex was saying, it was very similar to at the very beginning of the trailer that came out with the PS5 reveal. Stuff was going on that it was talking about will be the end of his story. It was very similar in the wording there. So probably talking about, maybe not just talking about Ethan, but they did say that will be the end of Ethan's story, but maybe it's going to be talking about the end of Chris's story too, but who knows? Of course, we'll find out. So there were around 12 questions that were asked from the two producers of Resident Evil 8 Village, Tsuyoshi Kanda and Pete Fabiano, and he goes through and talks about what those questions and answers were. So let's go through those one by one, shall we? So the first question was that they asked was, it's been 2.5 months since RE8, and we're surprised to see another numbered title announced already. How long has the game been in development? And what they say is that it's been development. They've been playing this title for 3.5 years. So they've been working on this for a long, long time. So it's not something they just kind of haphazardly came up with. It's something they've been working with for a little bit. So their next question was, Chris was in RE7. What's he been up to since then? What's his relationship with Ethan and Mia? And they answer, it's not strange to think they formed a new relationship after RE7 based on their shared experience. So, kind of had a shared experience. I know, spoilers here for the end of RE7 if you haven't played it. But at the end, after you play as Ethan, at the very end of the game, you see Chris Redfield. And maybe they formed some kind of new alliance there, work with each other after that. Who knows? I mean, we don't know yet, but that's about all we know. They said that we hope we gave the players that impression that they have some type of relationship, but of course we don't really know what's going to happen there. And question 3 says the 8 appears, and it's Roman numerals 8, appears in the Village logo. Why didn't you call it RE8? And the answer is, you can say the Village is another protagonist in the game. We want players to clearly understand that. Now, there's been some speculation saying that this isn't supposed to be called Resident Evil 8 because of this interaction right here. That's not really the case. I think they're saying that they want you to call it Resident Evil Village because they want you to emphasize more of the village, because it's going to have like a thing of its own there. So that still doesn't mean that it's not 8. It has the Roman numerals 8 within, the logo itself, for crying out loud. So it is Resident Evil 8, but they want you to emphasize more the village more so than the number. So you'll see some stuff out there about that, but it is Resident Evil 8. The trailer says the story comes to a close. This is question 4. Who is that referring to? It says, we'll let you decide. And that's what we were talking about before. It might be a, play to where you have to figure out, is that talking about Ethan? Is that talking about Chris? Or is it talking about both? But yeah, so that's kind of what question 4 is talking about there. And of course, we'll find out. Question 5, RE7's Ethan is the protagonist, and they've confirmed that. There's an option in RE7 that changes the story. Which does Village follow? Which is kind of... I think I already know the answer to this one. It says, look closely at the trailer, which I think you do see some references to Mia in there. You can choose between either Mia or Zoe in Resident Evil 7, which one to save. And because there's Mia there, I'm pretty sure that's going to be what's going to be the canon ending. So I think that's why they're telling you just to play RE7 to do so that I think you can make that connection. So, from what I'm seeing there, I'm pretty sure if you choose Mia, that's going to be considered the canon ending there. So, question 6. We're curious about Chris this time. He had PTSD in RE6. Now he seems to have lost his reputation as an experienced soldier again. What can you tell us? And the answer to that one was, many feel Chris in the trailer shows he's lost his status as hero. Many have guessed why. Look forward to in the game. Not really sure if they're meaning like they've guessed correctly why. Some have been speculated that maybe Chris is just gone on the deep end, or some have speculated from some of the pictures that Chris actually may be taken over somewhat by that mold. If you look at his eyes, you can see some type of black tar type substance, very similar to Death Stranding kind of. So maybe he's been kind of taken over as a mold type structure, or maybe it's like a clone that's a mold type thing that's made to look like Chris. Who knows? But we'll kind of see what's going on there. So don't really know what to expect, but I think that's kind of interesting that we have to play the game to find out. Question 7, as the title suggests, the village is the setting. What's the extent of it? What country is this in? Now, so if you remember from the special developer message that was talked about after the new trailer came out for Resident Evil 8, they show the inventory that you get, the inventory screen. On the top right is a currency. It's called Lei, L-E-I. And that is a Romanian currency. Even though they don't answer the question there, my guess and speculation is that the location of Resident Evil 8 is going to be in Romania. So definitely look forward to that. But I have I'm pretty sure that's probably where it's going to be located, which that is in Europe. Question 8. Village uses the isolated first-person view. Were fans highly responsive to RE7? What has changed? And it says both first person over the shoulder have merits, they just said, but we think first person. It's funny they don't even talk about fixed camera angle anymore on that, but anyway, we think first person allows for a deeper immersive experience. We can't come on change from RE7, but we say that first person has greatly evolved in Village. So we do know it's going to be first person. They might have some things here or there. If you were hoping it was not going to be first person, again, it will be. So sorry if that's the case, but I still think it'll be good. Alright, so question 9. You showed the inventory screen, the special developer message. Looks like RE4's attaché case, which it definitely does. It definitely looks like it has ties back to Resident Evil 4 with that there. We're looking forward to item management, and they answer, can't go into any detail about that, but it is very important. Please look forward to it, but with Resident Evil, it always is important no matter what, so that's not a surprise. Question 10, in the trailer, one creature looks like a werewolf. It felt terrifying in a way I never felt before. Were they human? They seem different from zombies and Ganados. And they answered that it is an enemy, so you have to fight those creatures. They will face off against the protagonist. Can't comment about their background. So, which is fine. I'm glad to play the game to find out where they come from, how they even get to that state. But those are going to be enemies that you do fight. And that's not a surprise there. Question 11. This Resident Evil is for PS5 and Xbox Series X, and will also be on PC. What does next-gen hardware allow for you to achieve? And they say that we've upgraded the graphics and sound. Also, the fact that loading times can't be perceived is an important point. So I think that's not just Resident Evil, but games in general, that going to be using that to their advantage for loading, and also to be able to load in more textures. And all in all, the next-gen consoles allow for more immersive experiences. I mean, you know, that's kind of cookie-cutter kind of answer there, but, I mean, what else you say to that? And last question, this is question 12. There's a screen with a door that looks like a puzzle, which looks like we talked about in my last video. That door looks like it's actually between the village and also when you get to the castle. So we're intrigued. Are solving mysteries an indispensable part of Resident Evil? And then they answer. It says 13, but I still think it means answer 12. On top of fear, combating item management, exploration is a must, and Resident Evil solving puzzles is definitely in. It expands the breadth of the gameplay. I'm so happy to hear that. I like that you have to be able to explore, and also that you have to solve puzzles. Some that don't like to solve puzzles, I'm sorry, but I feel like that's an integral part of the Resident Evil experience, and if we're getting that, then I think that's going to be a great thing that we get. So I'm not very surprised about that from what we saw from the trailer, but I'm glad to get that answer there from them on that. So that was the end of the interview. So anyway, just want to update you guys on that. Hope that excites you just as much as me. Very excited. The more I'm reading and thinking about Resident Evil 8, the more excited I'm actually getting. I think it's going to be good, better than what people are going to think that it's going to be, because they've worked on it a while, and it's a different team that worked on it than RE3 Remake. So we'll see. Like I said, I'm very excited to see what we get, but I want to know what your thoughts are. Are you excited about anything that was talked about in this interview? Does anything change your mind, or are you still a little iffy about Resident Evil 8 and what it's going to bring to the next gen of consoles and also on PC? Be sure to put your thoughts in the comments section below, and if you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave it a like. And if you haven't yet, please sure to subscribe and hit that bell to where it says all notifications, so you get more videos like this one. Again, this has been your host, Pudge007, and I will see you in the next video.